Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to our channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to feature another of the bhitalae species of Sansevieria. And this particular bhitalae has a collection number of 21833. It is known in the market as the dragon wing. And we will be removing it so we can check and do some maintenance on it. So the problem is it's on the position where it has a lot of neighbors, so I'll have to ask Andres to have it removed since I still have a shoulder injury, so I can't carry this specimen, so we can have it shown for you. So in a bit we'll have Andres move it to the place where we always do some data gathering with regards to the Sansevieria species that we feature. So please stay tuned as we will be prepping to remove the Sansevieria bhitalae known as dragon wing, having the collection number of 21833. Diyan sa gilid lang. Kaya mo? Doon ka muna sa likod kung ano. Dali, sali. Be. Baka masagi mo yung yung tabi, hindi. Oh. Tungtong san. Bigat? Alright folks, we're back and this is the second part of the content where we will be discussing more about the characteristics of the Sansevieria species known as bhitalae, and this particular bhitalae is having the collection ID of ES21833. It is collected by Ernst Specks, thus the initials of ES before the numerical code of the collection ID, and it is found in Tanzania, west of Mafinga, 12 kilometers to Madibura. So folks, with that said, first off, people in the market are calling most of the species that look like what I'm featuring to you right now as Mafinga. They ID it as Mafinga. So again, that is very inaccurate because Mafinga is not an ID of Sansevieria. It is a place in Africa where a species of Sansevieria was found. So the correct species is bhitalae, and it is found 12 kilometers to Madibura. So if you notice, some other sellers would sell you 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 18 kilometers, 24 kilometers. There's no such thing, there's no such ID, there's no publication about an ID just having a numerical code and a measure of distance. So 12 kilometers is a measure of distance. It is not an ID. No one in their right minds would ID plants as a measure of distance. So again, calling Sansevierias 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 24 kilometers, that is very inaccurate. We're not using them, we don't condone them, and we should avoid using measure of distance as ID of your Sansevieria. So again, this is part of the bhitalae species, and also this is known in the trade as dragon wing. And as you can see, like the previous bhitalaes that I've shown you, the pattern on them are dragon-like, and the one that I'm showing you right now perhaps is the widest of the one of the widest, I would say, because I'm not sure. I'm not the person who would go in and out of Africa to search for other Sansevieria species, because there are some people, some experts who do that. So perhaps they see more than I have, and perhaps they notice that there are more. They discover more of these undescribed Sansevierias in the wild than I do. So, in my experience, though, and especially in my collection, this is the bhitalae that is having the widest leaf measure. So later on, we will also measure that. And right now, what we'll do is perhaps check the texture of the leaf, because we already did that on the first two episodes for the bhitalae species. Bhitalae species are very beautiful species for me. They're very hard, very sturdy. They're really dragon-like in appearance, although some experts would not, they don't like to call them dragon, or do not want to use the word dragon. However, that is what the localities already call them, because they're the ones who saw the plant first, so they gave the plant nicknames, and this one was given a nickname of dragon wing. Again, going back, we'll check the surface area. So surface, like the other species that we've already featured, is smooth to the touch. This is vertical feel of the leaf. This is horizontal feel of the leaf. So if you feel the leaf horizontally, you feel bumps because of the deep longitudinal lines that are present on the leaf. So again, one of the it's just one, because you can't just use it as a means to identify your bhitalae, because there are a lot of them, and so far I have already featured just 3. You can use it to help you ID your bhitalae, but not solely depend on it. That's what I'm saying. The first bhitalae that we have presented is silver blue, and they have the longitudinal lines from 0.3 millimeters to 1.2 millimeters. So they vary. Some of the longitudinal lines on it are thin, some are thick. Then you have the silver dragon, which only has very thin longitudinal lines. Now we have dragon wing, and the longitudinal lines on it, folks, are not very thin. In fact, we can also measure it using this tool, and set it to zero. Hold on, I'm setting it to 0. There you go. And then try to measure one of the longitudinal lines on it. So I would say it kinda close to the silver blues, because silver blues, as I have measured them, would be 1.2. Dragon wings has 1.1, maybe some are 1.2, but I'm just able to measure 1.1. So this one I think is also 1.2 to 1.3. That's even 1.4 on there. They have very thick longitudinal lines. The length of it, there are some that are short, especially on the upper portions of the leaf. On the middle portions, you'd see it. Actually, we can measure. I think that's about 2 inch. Using this tool, we can measure it and perhaps convert it later on. Some of it would be 50 millimeters. That's about 2 inches. Aside from that, the pattern are mottled leaf. This is the lighter green color, that's the inner part, and then the outer portion of the outline are the darker green ones. So like Trifasciatas, you would encounter them having or mutate to paling out or darkening. However, we have not we have witnessed a mutation coming from that dragon wing. Perhaps I could feature that right after this one, so that we can connect the dots as to which one came from which mutation. So if you're familiar with the mutation AS Silk, that is a bhitalae mutation coming from dragon wings. Alright, so next I think we need to measure. By the way, this is a very big specimen. It's usually planted on the cement pots that I have molded out of the purified drinking water container, and earlier I've shown you a video of Andres carrying it. It was so heavy for him. Poor Andres for having a hard time doing the legwork to carry it for me. So this one is medium sized. This is a medium sized dragon wing, and one of the tips that I can give you is that if you invest in bigger pots, then I think it would yield you a bigger plant or a bigger Sansevieria. So bhitalaes are large plants. There are some that would grow into very tall rod-like form. So rod-like because they grow erect, and they're like a baseball bat. They can grow as long as that, even longer. So sometimes reaching to about 3 to 4 feet, even more. However, the one that I'm showing you right now is a bhitalae that I have not seen ES21833 grow along rod-like appearance. What I saw growing rod-like appearance or shape of the bat or something long is the Dragon King, which perhaps is one of the bhitalaes that we will be featuring right after Dragon Wing. And I have also managed to have mutate from a specimen, a variegated Dragon Wing, and it is the avatar of Sansevieria 101. I might be able to feature it somewhere in the future, but right now I'm still growing it. It had some difficulties with the weather that we have, but it is recuperating, so the moment that it's good, I'm going to share it with you folks. So before we end, I'm going to take measurements of this specimen, because the normal one I will also take measurements, so I'll have to clip this camera so that I can move freely. So position it as such. Alright, I think that's good. I think I can move back a bit. Then I'm good to measure. I can't measure a straight ruler because everything is curving with regards to leaf width. So the leaf of Dragon Wing would just be, and this is a fairly large specimen that I have. I'm measuring it at 12 inches for the longest one that I can measure. Some would be 13 to 14, so we'll peg it at 12 to 14 inches for the specimen's longest leaves. Next would be the width of the specimen. Like I mentioned, it is one of the widest leaf Sansevieria bhitalae species that I have encountered or I have dealt with. So that's where I ended up measuring it. It's 4.8. So rarely can the Sansevieria bhitalae have very wide leaves, leaves that I again more than 4 inches. Sansevierias are broadleaf Sansevierias, especially reaching 4-inch or more. They are considered the widest of the Sansevierias that I have encountered, although Masoniana is the widest that I have recorded, having a measure of 7.8 inches, but 4 inches in Sansevieria leaf width. They are very wide leaf plants. If you can see my hand, I'm going to put it on this plant, and we would see that's the palm of my hand, and that's how wide the leaves of the dragonwing can get. For the medium sized, usually that is what is being sold in the market, even smaller, because the specimen I have, I won't sell it. I don't think I can sell it in the market with the same price as to the one that are sold for smaller sizes. To measure the medium size, it's just about having the leaf width of 3.5 inches compared to the more than 4 inches of the specimen that I have. The one that I'm showing you right now is the biggest of my specimen. Also, we're talking about leaf width. So leaf length for the medium ones would be around 7 inches. Compared to the one that I have, compared to the biggest specimen that I have for the Sansevieria bhitalae dragonwing, or ES21833. So aside from that, the leaf edge would be just the same as the first two that I have already featured. It's reddish. The outline is reddish, but the outer layer of the leaf edge is white, and it is a wilted part. I'm gonna check if I can move the camera to it. There you go. The outer edge is like a wood-like color or appearance. It is wilty type, and then you would see the dried the reddish color, which is closely resembling dried blood. And then this is the leaf of Sansevieria dragonwing, or bhitalae dragonwing. You would see that it has sort of a round here, and then an arrowhead, and then along it are the wilty. You see what I'm showing you right now is a wilty part that can be easily damaged, but the reddish parts are already hard and are part of the plant. So it's not it's like a wood, wilty wood, or a brittle wood that you can easily damage when you're not careful in dealing with it. So aside from that, this is how the back part of the leaf looks like. It's whitish color, it's powdery. I think it has some glaucous characteristics, with which repels water. If in case when it rains, water will be splashed on it, so the water will not sip into the plant, into the leaf itself, but it would stay out of it and perhaps dry out. So that's one of the characteristics of the dragonwing, to protect itself from being overwatered or exposed to rain. And by the way, this specimen is in a roofless position, so it gets it's outdoor and it gets rain whenever it can, and also sunlight whenever it can. So it's a very sturdy species of Sansevieria. So if ever someone would say trifasciata or the snake plants that they show you blade-like, that's mostly trifasciata, are the hardest or the easiest to grow. I would not agree with that because the easiest to grow is this one. It's very sturdy. Once it roots okay, you can leave it outdoor and it will strive, but that is only limited to weather conditions that are not having winter or a very cold weather. So they would usually thrive in temperatures of 35 to 40 perhaps degrees Celsius of temperature. That's the weather that we have here. If you're lower than 20 or having 25 below, then I'm not really sure if they would still do well in that weather condition. So aside from that, I don't think I have anything else to add. So folks, before that, I have something to add. I think this is one of the Sansevieria species that has never bloomed for me. So like I said, I always say when someone tells you here's what you do to make your Sansevierias bloom, that is a load of crap. I'm sorry to tell you that, because blooming for Sansevierias are species dependent. The one that I'm showing you right now is one of the species that will not bloom for you frequently or never in your lifetime in some cases. So for myself, I have been keeping this for over 7 years, I think, or more. So in that 7 years, it has not bloomed for me. So it is one of bhitalae, or one of the species that hardly blooms in our garden. Kirky eye species blooms, trifasciatas bloom here. The Sansevieria hybrids always blooms for me, but not the bhitalae species. So if ever there's one, I'll perhaps make a video out of it and show it to everyone else. But as for now, right now, none of my Sansevieria bhitalae species are or has ever bloomed for me. So I think that's it for this content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below, and if you like what I have presented to you, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and you have a great day.